Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of Developing a Proper Worldview. We're in section 6 of our series. This will be episode number 90. And just by way of, I want to recap things before jumping into everything. Um, I was sitting here yesterday or the day before and I was thinking, man, this next episode is going to be episode 90. And I'm probably I don't know when we started doing these. It's probably almost been 5 years, and I was like, we're only a third of the way done. There's probably another 10 years worth of videos if I keep this pace. I was hoping to do them every week, in which case we could have wrapped up probably in about 7 to 10 years. Just because there's so much material for us to cover, so many different documentaries for us to go through and discuss. But I thought, man, it's exciting. If the Lord keeps me motivated and we can get through these, it'll be really fun. It'll be a great project to keep me busy, for the next decade. And unfortunately, I haven't been able to keep pace of doing them weekly. Um, on average, we've probably done one every 3 weeks or so. Although, like the last year, there's been big sections of time in between them, just because of my own personal struggles. But if we maintain this current pace, like I said, it's probably gonna. I'm looking at another 10 years worth of videos, and I was thinking, my prayer is that the Lord would allow me to complete this task. I've always looked at it like, so I do several different video series, teaching series. Um, I do something I call Milking the Word, where it's just a verse by verse study. I've got a podcast. I did several teaching videos, probably like 100 different teaching videos over the course of several years prior to this, and all very fun for me, all edifying, all very beneficial, especially from like my own spiritual growth. And I'm always praying that I don't have a huge viewership, but Lord willing, it goes to the people that it's meant to go to, and you're going to hear and grow and learn and glorify God. But this particular project, this Worldview project, I've always thought, man, this is like my life's work. Like this is the ultimate joy for me. This is what I've put the most effort and thought into in my own personal walk. Like when I first got saved, going through these documentaries on my own, just learning, this is what really formed me as a person. I mean, outside the scriptures are the foundation. And then learning this stuff with the biblical understanding supporting it, just kind of created who I am, and I'm not a good person. I'm a sinful Christian. Kent Hovind used to say, every Christian should be doing something. At the least, you can be a bad example, and of what not to do. And I view myself often as a very sinful person. I struggle a lot with my own sins, and I know I'm not qualified to do much. But I feel like the Lord has given me insight, and so while my actions, my own personal private life is a struggle against my own internal sins, as I wrestle the thoughts and the motives and just always fighting against sin. But I've always felt like the Lord has given me keen insight, and I prayed for that when I first got saved. My prayer was, if I could ask the Lord for anything, I want wisdom and discernment and knowledge and understanding. I want to know what truth is. I want to know, and praise God. He laid it solidly on my heart that the scriptures are the truth. That these are the absolute truth. This is the only thing we can know with absolute certainty, because it comes from God. It is God breathed. It's free from the errors and the tainting of men. And I know that all men are like me, prone to sin, prone to mistakes, prone to errors. And so we can't trust what men say, but we can trust the scriptures. And so I praise God that He laid that foundation in my heart early on. And then I was able to examine the world at large and what's going on, especially in the realm of geopolitics. Just looking around the world and seeing how politicians act and what they do and what their goals are and how that fits into the biblical scheme. And I think the Lord gave me insight and wisdom to understand those things, to know. And a lot of what He taught me came through these documentaries and other documentaries, and just watching stuff, just countless hours of just studying this stuff, and understanding it in the light of scriptures. And I know I'm not special. There's nothing unique about me. If I learn these things, then everybody can learn these things. And so that's what this series is me taking all those years of information that I feel the Lord has revealed to me and trying to share it in the same way that I learned it, building it piecemeal. And so when I started this series, my prayer was, Lord, I hope I'm able to follow through, because this is such a great monumental task, and joy. It's you think about people in the olden days before they had technology like this would write books, and this is like somebody writing a big volume of books. This is my volume of books. This is me giving you, giving the Lord, giving myself. I benefit from it. I get joy. I believe God gets glory through it. I try to glorify Him in it, and like I say, anybody out there who the Lord gives ears to hear is going to benefit from it as well. But there's going to be, by the time it's all said and done, this is episode 90, so we're probably already looking at like 200 plus hours of information, and by the time it's done, we're probably going to have somewhere between 600 and 1,000 hours of information, of videos. That's just such a big thing, and I trust that the Lord will let me complete it, but just in case He doesn't, if I die or something happens where we no longer have access to this technology, or whatever the case, life happens, something occurs, I want to go through and I want to give you my list here of what we have done, what we've skipped, and so this is going to be one of the longer intros I've done, I think. And then what we have upcoming. And Lord willing, you can write these down, and you can I really encourage you to try to get your hands on hard copies of this stuff. A lot of times they're videos that are available on like Google Videos or Rumble or YouTube, and if you ask the content creator for permission, they'll allow you to upload it for free, and you can just burn it onto a disc or something so you can have it. Because a lot of this stuff is purposefully left uncopyrighted, because they don't really care about the monetary gain. They just want you to have the information. But always check with the content creator first to see if you have permission. If not, go to the various sources, buy as many DVDs as possible. Just get your hands on hand copies, in case something ever does happen where we no longer can freely share information like this. Unfortunately, we live in a dangerous society, perilous times, where they censor speech, they censor information. So I'm gonna list off all of these, and then, like I say, just write them down. If you have the ability, purchase them all. But if not, just purchase the ones that really intrigue you, that interest you, or like I say, try to get your hands on them for free. But part one of our series, section one, was the gospel, because it's vitally important that you understand this. This is a biblical issue. A lot of what we're looking at is what people would call conspiratorial, conspiracy theory. It's a lot of government type information, which you wouldn't necessarily think of it being biblical, but this is a biblical thing. This we're looking at this in the light of the scriptures, because this is a spiritual war that we're in. The New World Order, as our politicians and world leaders call it, is what the Bible calls a beast system. The end of the world unified system that worships the devil, that worships the beast, and persecutes Christianity. These things were prophesied by God to come to pass. And so you have to understand that. You have to look at the world in the light of the truth of the scriptures. And so having the gospel, being born again, because Jesus says that his word is spiritual, and that it's you have to have spiritual understanding, and we're all born spiritually dead, so we don't have that ability. You have to be born again. You have to have an encounter with the living God. You have to come to salvation through faith in Jesus Christ, and that will cause you to he will cause you to be born again. He will give you his spirit, so that then you have ears to hear. You can understand the scriptures. You have to have that. Otherwise, none of this will make sense, or you'll end up on the wrong path. You have to have the scriptural understanding. So part one was the gospel, and we looked at several Way of the Master episodes, and there's a lot of them. I think they have like 5 seasons, and each season might be like 24 episodes or something like that. We only looked at a handful, so get your hands on those. You can go to the Living Waters website, and they'll send you all the episodes on a little thumb drive. I forget how much it is, like maybe $99 or something like that. But that's a great way to go. And then they also have several videos where they're doing evangelism overseas. They got like the Luxembourg, Amsterdam, Prague, things like that. You can get your hands on those. We didn't look at those, but they're good. At the end of our series, I may go back over some of these. Their Way of the Master produced Living Waters as the ministry, produced documentaries. One's called 180. One's called The Atheist Delusion. Another's Audacity. Another's The Fool. There's one called Evolution versus God. There's one called 7 Reasons. And then part 2 of our series, I called the Evolution chapter, the Creationism versus Evolution chapter. And we looked at several of those Dr. Kent Hovind videos, his Creation Seminar series, which is a 7-part series. We went through those. He also has like a college course, like I think it's called like Creationism 101 or something like that, and then there's a 102, 103, something like that. There's just hours and hours and hours of information. I believe they're all available on YouTube. I was just recently watching some on YouTube, so I think they're all there. And then Answers in Genesis has the Bill Nye versus Ken Ham debate, and their second debate. And then there's also a documentary on their post-debate. And then their ministry, Answers in Genesis, has a lot of different videos that are just, I think they're all like little short 30, 45-minute teaching videos. One's called Heaven and Earth. Another is Death, Suffering, and Playing God. Another is called The God of Suffering. Another one's called Always Ready. Another one's called Already Gone, which I have this marked, so it must be one that I think is important to watch. I don't think we went through that one, but there's all most of these are books too. Ken Ham has a ton of books. I got like 45 of his books on my shelf there. There's one called Things That Go Bump, one called Science Confirms the Bible, one called Radioactive Dating, one called As in the Days of Noah, and then there's the Internet Institute for Creation Research, which I believe is the Henry Morris ministry, and it's just another really good creation ministry. They've got a documentary called Discovery Center. Check that out. You go to their website, check out all their resources. And then we watched the Unlocking the Mysteries of Life, which was great. Icons of Evolution, another really great one. God of Wonders, which is amazing. Creatures That Defy Evolution, parts 1 through 3. And then the Expelled documentary by Ben Stein, which is really good too. And then we went into section 3 of our series, which I called The American Empire. And we watched Megiddo Part 1 and Megiddo Part 2. Those are really good. Get your hands on those. I think that's done. Most of these ones in the American Empire series are from the Chris Pinto ministry. I don't know what his... I can't remember the name of his website or his ministry, what it's called. I can't think of it right now, but you can go to Cutting Edge, cuttingedge.org, and they have a ton of documentaries as well, including these ones: Secret Mysteries of America's Beginning, Riddles in Stone, Eye of the Phoenix, Hidden Faith of Our Founding Fathers. And then there's a G. Edward Griffin 6-disc series that we did not cover on communism: Hidden Agenda Capitalists, Hidden Agenda Subversion, Hidden Agenda Truth and Communism, Hidden Agenda Anarchy, Hidden Agenda Katanga, and Hidden Agenda No Place to Hide. Everything by G. Edward Griffin is worth checking out. He's a personal hero of mine. And then we watched the Aaron Russo documentary, Freedom to Fascism. And then there's three that we skipped, again, on communism. One called Agenda Grinding America Down, and Agenda 2, Masters of Deceit. Both of those are really well done documentaries. I just felt like they might be redundant or not really on the path that we were going, but they're what would, like, a subdivision, kind of, I forget, a subcategory. They're worth watching, as well as the one that's called There's No Place Like Utopia. And then we watched the G. Edward Griffin Collectivist Conspiracy. And then we moved into section 4 of our series on the 9/11 conspiracy, and we watched Loose Change, the second edition. There's 4 editions. I think the second one is the best. 9/11 Mysteries, 9/11 Road to Tyranny, which was an Alex Jones. Loose Change. Oh, I said Loose Change already. 9/11 in Plain Sight. We didn't watch that one. Martial Law 9/11. We didn't watch that one. Reopen 9/11. We didn't watch that. Beyond Treason. We didn't watch that. Aftermath. We didn't watch that. Great Conspiracy. We didn't watch that. And 9/11 Great Illusion. All of those are worth checking out. I just felt like with Loose Change and Road to Tyranny, we kind of nailed the most important aspects of that conspiracies, and everything else would kind of be redundant. Although there is, all of those are worth checking out because you're going to get bits and pieces that you didn't get from the other ones. So if that's a topic that interests you, delve deep into that. All of those are worth checking out. And then section 5 was on martial law. And we did not watch the first 3 police states: Police State 2000, Police State 2, and Police State 3, which again are InfoWars documentaries, Alex Jones. Check those out. A lot of those are like early Jones, where he didn't really have the production, he didn't have the finances to create great documentaries. So a lot of them are like handheld cameras and just him in studio reading articles and stuff like that. So they might be boring or not as well done, but there's still just tons of great information. We did watch the 4th one, which is called Police State Rise of FEMA. And then we watched the Camp FEMA documentary, as well as Enemy of the State. Those are fantastic. We did not watch America Destroyed by Design or Gulag USA, which I think is a Tex Mars documentary, and American Dictators, which is another Jones one. And then we did watch Masters of Terror. So those ones we didn't watch, check them out. I think, like I say, I think you could still find them. YouTube, unfortunately, is censoring and hiding a lot of stuff. Back in the day, I watched almost all this stuff on YouTube when it was still free speech. But go to Rumble or do like a Google video search. As time goes on, these are going to get harder and harder to find. And that's why I suggest that you get hard copies. Get your hands on the hard copies. Now, we had a subsection that we didn't cover, which was just, it's showing government cover-ups. So the section I just titled it Cover Up, and we didn't go through any of these because I just felt like that we're trying to get the bigger picture. A lot of these subcategories, it's not really important for us to delve into, but it's interesting information, and it will definitely give you an understanding of how governments, New World Order systems operate. And so you can watch Alex in London. You can watch Bloodstained Hands. You can watch Painful Deceptions, Wake Up or Waco, Conspiracy of Silence, Project Lucid, which is another Tex Mars one, I think. JFK 2, the rest of these are all, I think, Jones. JFK 2, the Oklahoma City bombing, Secret Wars of the CIA, Financial Reports, and then there's just a documentary called Alex Jones from April 18th, 2006. I remember when I first started studying this out and realizing that eventually the information wouldn't be available online. I found, I don't remember if it was like through eBay or through Amazon or something like that, I found somebody that was selling a huge collection of Alex Jones documentaries, and I bought like, it was like 50 of them, and just one of the best purchases that I ever made. But try to get your hands on all this stuff, like I say. And then section 6 is the section we're in right now, which I titled New World Order. Ones that we did not watch were World Systems Part 1 and Part 2, just because I thought they're a little bit more boring and redundant. I thought, a lot of the information on those we're going to cover in better documentaries. But again, it's still worth checking out. We did watch Matrix of Evil. We watched Terror Storm. We watched Endgame. Right now, we're currently watching Obama Deception. Following that, we're going to watch Fall of the Republic. And then Invisible Empire, which I think is done by a Christian organization, if I'm thinking right. It's either that one or the one after that, Shadow Government. Both phenomenal. We're going to get into both of those. Dark Clouds Over Eberron, I think it's called. It's about the Georgia Guidestones. We'll watch that one. New World Order, Blueprint of Mad Men, which I don't know if there's an actual disc you can buy. I think it's just a series somebody put together on YouTube, and I contacted them and I asked them, can I upload this onto DVD, and they said sure, go ahead. Same with Beginner's Guide to the New World Order and Satan's New World Order, and we're gonna watch all of those. That's all part 6 there. And then part 7, we're going to get into the occult foundations of this conspiracy. And some of these, we're going to watch most of them. We will not watch Brotherhood of Darkness, which I think is about... It's one of 3 things. That's either about Freemasonry, Bohemian Grove, or Skull and Bones. But check it out. Order of Death, which... again, I don't remember which organization that's about. There's one just called Skull and Bones. And then we're going to watch Light Behind Freemasonry by Bill Schneblin. Phenomenal teaching series. Excellent information on Freemasonry. And then we're going to watch his other documentary called Freemasonry Fatal. I think it's like Fatal in the First Degree or something like that. And then we're going to watch Mormonism, Temple of Doom by Schneblin. And then we've got one called Accept the Lord, Build the House. I don't remember, that might be a Schneblin one as well. And then there was this YouTube video I found just called Jesuit Quotes. I think it was only like a 45-minute documentary. It's another one. I contacted them and asked if I could upload and burn it onto a disc, and they said yes, so we're going to watch that one as well. Catholicism, Church on Haunted Hill, that's a Schneblin one. End Times Revivals Unmasked. I'm not sure who made that one, but it's a great doc. We're going to watch it. Islam, The Beautiful Truth. That's one I haven't watched yet, but I've heard good things about. American Gospel, Part 1. Phenomenal about prosperity gospel and things like that. And then American Gospel 2, Part 2. I don't know if I've watched that one, but we're going to go over it. Exposing the Illuminati from Within, another Schneblin one that is phenomenal. Excellent information. Illuminati Bloodlines, which is by Fritz Springmeier. Then another one just called The Illuminati, which I think is Doc Marquis. Which again, you can find that at cuttingedge.org. Tied in with I don't know if that's Chris. I don't think it's Chris Pinto's. It's not Chris Pinto. They just have a lot of Chris Pinto stuff, and then they also have a lot of Doc Marquis stuff. So that's an excellent source as well, cuttingedge.org. I probably don't agree with their eschatology. I think they're pre-trib. They're all about the rapture, which I think is nonsense. But other than that, they do a great job on exposing a lot of this stuff. So You can get a lot of good material there. And then another Doc Marquis one called The Lightbringers, another one called Arrival of Antichrist, another one called America's Occult Holidays, another one called Frontmen of the Illuminati, another one called Magic, Mysticism, and Masonry, and another one called Protocols of the Learned Elders of Zion. And then we have another one called Illuminati Fulfilling Prophecy. I haven't seen that one, so again, I just heard good things about it. I'll watch it, and then if it's good, I'll post it. Interview with an Ex-Vampire, which is a huge series that's going to take a long time to go through. It's an interview series with Schneblin that's broken up into like 12 parts. I think it's like a 12-hour interview with the guy, just going through all the various cults that he was involved in, including vampirism, which isn't like the supernatural vampires. It's just a satanic cult where witches and what do they call warlocks, which are just male witches, drink each other's blood in like satanic rituals. And then there's one there's one called then I did a series on I did like way back in the day. I did a when I only knew how to upload 10-minute videos at the time, and so I've got like a 39 part series. So it's like probably like 6 hours, but it's all broken down in like 10-15 minute videos or whatever it is, and it's on the Illuminati. And I don't know if we're gonna watch that whole series because it's kind of slow and plotting, and a lot of it's just repetitive. But there is a section in there where I covered the different Illuminati symbols. We're gonna watch that. So check that out on my channel. You definitely have my permission. You can upload that, print it, download it, share it, do whatever you got to do. And then we're going to do section 8, which is the media cover-up. We're not going to watch Outfoxed. I remember that one just kind of being boring. But we are going to watch Out of Shadows, which I think I remember being a really, really good... I don't know who did it, but it's really good. And then there's one, a newer one called You Can't Watch This. I haven't watched that yet, but it was heavily promoted on InfoWars. Shadows of Liberty. I remember that one being good, I think. I can't remember any particular details about it, but we're going to watch it. Hollywood's War on God, which I remember being an excellent series. It's, what's the guy's name? I can picture him. He's got a mullet and a mustache. I don't know. I can't remember his name, but it's a really good series. We're going to cover that. And then he did this next one as well called They Sold Their Souls for Rock and Roll. We're going to watch that. Excuse me. And then section 9, we've got the banking system. There's a lot of documentaries I haven't watched yet that I have to determine whether or not they're good enough to include. Just because the banking part really didn't interest me all that much. I felt like once I had the basic concept, it was like, all right, I'm not going to dig too deep into that. Just because it's really, I don't understand a lot of what they talk about. It goes way over my head. But G. Edward Griffin is the source for that stuff. And so we're going to watch his on the Federal Reserve, and then we're going to watch one called Money, Banking, and the Federal Reserve. And then, like I say, I've got a lot down here on my list. I'm pointing like you can see. That I haven't included on the main list because I just wasn't sure if we're going to include them. But 2 more are called Monopoly Men, and then another one called Money Masters. So check those out as well. I can't remember who did those ones. And then section 10 will be population control, which is broken up into like 6 different subsections. One is a word I can't say on here because YouTube is banning and blocking stuff, but it's in the realm of the old poke. So we're gonna watch The Greater Good. We're going to watch Wait Till It's Free. We're going to watch Population Control, Cancer Wars, and Medical Murder. Some of those are G. Edward Griffin ones. I'm not really sure who the other ones are. But then the next subsection, so that first section would be 10A, and then 10B will be the water supply. We're going to look at the Great Culling, which is a good one, and we're going to look at it's a really good one, and then we're going to look at the fluoride deception. And then subsection 10C will be on the air we breathe, and we're going to look at chemtrails. And two really, really, really good documentaries on that are What in the World Are They Spraying and Why in the World Are They Spraying, which is the follow up. And then Climate Hustle, which I haven't watched, so we'll have to check that out. And then another really, really good one called Angels Don't Play That Harp. And I think there's a follow up to that called Angels Still Don't Play That Harp. And HARP is HAARP, it's an acronym. Not exactly sure what it stands for. And then section 10D will be on the food supply. We've got a documentary called Nutricide, and we've also got The World According to Monsanto, which is phenomenal. I think I've got that DVD. If not, I'll have to try to find it. I don't know why it's not on my main list. Maybe I couldn't find it. But also one called Seeds of Death. Oh, and also in the water one, we're going to look at something called Inconvenient Tooth. And then section 10E will be the schools. We're going to look at a documentary called Indoctrination, and also one called Escaping Common Core. And then section 10F is the psychology. I don't know why I included that because I don't have any documentaries on that. I think it was just something I wanted. I was going to research and see if I could find some stuff, because those are the various ways that they're doing the population control through the the pokes and the I can't say certain words. I hope you know what I'm talking about. Through the water, through the air, through the food, through the schools, and through psychology. And then part 11 is going to be kind of wrapping things up. We're going to look at a Christian-specific issue, a way I feel like the New World Order has crept into the church a little bit. We're going to look at the Bible version issues and how Satan is using corrupted Bible versions to twist things and to get people off a track. And so we're going to watch something called the King James Bible Movie, which I think is like a Hollywood type produced documentary, but it was done reverently, and it's just really good historical information. And then we're going to look at a 3-part series by Chris Pinto. Again, some of the best documentaries that are out there. One called A Lamp in the Dark, one called Tares Among the Wheat, and one called Bridge to Babylon. We've also got a Gail Riplinger documentary. It's more of her giving a speech at the Prophecy Club, but going over information from her book, and that's really good as well. So we might look at that. And then part 12, another Christian issue, is the pre-tribulation rapture error, because I believe that is a deception from the New World Order as well, or just it's these, both the Bible version issue and the pre-trib rapture error are lies that have come down from Roman Catholicism, which is the whore that rides the beast. She is the head of the New World Order religious system, and so these errors are coming from her. So I include them in this subject matter, and in that I've got to find some things to find. There's a documentary called After the Tribulation, which I think, if I'm remembering correctly, it's really good information, but it's coming from a less than reputable source. So we'll have to watch that cautiously. And then there's another one called Left Behind or Led Astray that we're going to watch. And then part 13 is going to be our end times, where we're looking at eschatology. And I got one called The Final Countdown by Pastor Billy Crone. He believed in the pre-trib rapture, but other than that, all the information he provided is really, really good information. We've also got the New Age Bibles. That's that Gail Riplinger one. What else did I have in here? Okay. Well, and that'll bring us to the end of it. That's going to be section 13, and then I'm going to have bonus videos that kind of I didn't fit them in anywhere, but we're going to go through them anyways. Um, well, that one there's some that so there's a documentary by a guy named Rivera. That's his last name, Rivera. It's called Final Warning. I didn't include it yet because I think I messaged him to see if I could get permission, and I never heard back. And I don't think I own the documentary, so that's one I think I'm gonna have to purchase that. So I got to find a way to purchase that. Man, I remember watching that, and it was really, really good. We're also going to look at one called the Jesuit Order, which again is another one I found on YouTube, and I didn't hear back from them whether or not I could use it. And I don't think I could find anywhere to buy it. Maybe I did, because I wrote down a ministry here. So if I'll buy that one. A lot of these, I'm not a man of means. I don't have a lot of money, so I think I was just waiting until I had a little bit of extra money and I could buy these. So then we've got another one called Clear and Present Evil on the Jesuits. We've got one called A Woman Rides the Beast from the ministry Berean Call. Another YouTube video called Into Darkness, which again I'm going to have to either purchase or get permission. Clouds Without Water, which I'm going to have to purchase. That's a Justin Peters one. Very good. Elliot Nesh has made a lot of good documentaries. One that I want to watch is called Church of Tares. I think I did get permission from him. I'll have to check. And then Global Warming or Global Governance. Phenomenal documentary. I'll have to purchase that one as well. And then a few more of the Ray Comfort Living Waters documentaries. One called Genius, one called Noah, one called Exit, one called Pandemic, one called Crazy Bible, and one called The Real Reason. And then there's a Greg Reese documentary. I was waiting for him to put out part 2. I think it's been a couple of years now, and I haven't seen part 2 yet. He did a part 1 called The Clinton Body Count on Mina, and really good information. So we'll probably go over that. I haven't checked in a while. I don't know if he's put out part 2 yet or not, but Greg Reese, he usually does little short 10-15 minute videos that are just little current news that you can find on InfoWars, and he does some great work, man. He's like an investigative journalist basically, but he does a phenomenal job in production value and putting together these little 10-minute videos. They're always really good. So anything you can find from him, Greg Reese. And also on the that same site there, John Bowen, same thing, does a really, really good job of putting together little short videos. Watch everything you find. There's probably hundreds and hundreds of videos. You can just go to the website and watch them. They're all good. Go to band.video. Go to Rumble. You'll find it easily there. So if we don't get through everything, that's where we're going to end up. Or that's the goal, is to get through all these. Really excited about it. Like I say, we're on episode 90, and we're about a third of the way there. So, yeah, that's what I got for you guys for an intro. Right now, if you're watching on YouTube, click the link in the description. Go over to Rumble and watch the rest. They've been blocking too many videos, so I can't put them up anymore. So just go over to Rumble and watch the rest of this.